Hey, Carnival Magic Cruisers, welcome to Coach Cruise. I'm your host, Brad. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And obviously today we're going to be doing a review on the most recent cruise I've been on, which was the Carnival Magic. So let's get started right after this.
Oh, YouTubers, check me. This is Cookie, your cruise director on the Carnival Horizon down in Miami, Florida. Trust me, number one, you want to follow this man's channel, Coach Cruise, because he's the absolute best coach out here, not about fitness, but about cruising. Trust me, he's going to make sure you have the best time ever because he knows the ins and outs of every cruise that you go on. So click that like, follow button, and share more about this brother right here. Not only is he my coach, but he's my cousin. We'll see you all on the next cruise. Until then, we're out of here. Peace.
All right, Magic Cruisers. So let's get started. And how about we start with the cruise director? So the Carnival Cruise Line is known for high energy, fun cruise directors. Now, I will say that I had one Dustin Gabriel on the particular cruise that I was on, but for the purposes of this review, I'm going to tell you his contract is about up. And honestly, in my opinion, it's probably a good thing for you because you have Michael D'Auria, and he is a newer cruise director. But he has done some cameo appearances, and the early reviews on him have been very good. Not only that, but he has been under the tutelage of one Lee Mason, two-time cruise director of the year. I've seen him personally on the celebration, and he does a great job. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Just take into consideration, he is a newer cruise director, so there might be some growing pains, and he might need to shake some rust off, if you will. But I think that he's going to pleasantly surprise you. So let's move on to our next category. Okay, like just about all Carnival ships, there is plenty of entertainment to go around. It depends on what your flavor is. Are you somebody who just loves stand-up comedy? Well, of course, there's the Punchliner Comedy Club, and most nights you'll be able to find a couple shows, if not more, of stand-up comedians. There is a rated R show, or not a rated R show, but an 18 and over show. And then there's a family show that they do with stand-up comedy. So whatever you feel more comfortable with, I will forewarn you, for those of you that haven't been to a lot of stand-up comedy or you're newer cruisers, the 18 plus is going to include some things that some people might find offensive in the way of jokes and cursing and things like that. So it's definitely there. It's 18 plus for a reason. So if you are easily offended, that's one of the things they tell you at the beginning of the comedy show is this might not be for you, and maybe you should leave before the show starts. So just keep that in mind before you go and take in a stand-up comic show if it's 18 and over. Okay, now some other entertainment offerings that they have is the live piano bar. And a lot of people love to go to the live piano bar. And it's no different on the Carnival Magic. It's a very engaging piano bar, and people just have a lot of fun. So if that is your thing, then by all means you can do it. Of course, there is karaoke, but more importantly, there is the playlist productions. And one show I saw in particular on the Carnival Magic was America Rocks, and it is a great show paying tribute to a lot of the rock classics we all know and love. And the costumes, there's one part in there where one of the females in the cast is dancing, and all of a sudden she has this American flag almost like wings, right? And a couple of other cast members pull it out, and all of a sudden you see this American flag draped, and it's just a really cool scene. They do a great job of production value. So that would be a show that I would highly recommend. Now, there is a lot of live music. Again, just like on almost all Carnival ships, you can find live music all over. Now, the violin trio, oftentimes you will find them in the main atrium, but you can find them in Ocean Plaza as well. The Soul of Violin, I believe their contract should be running through up until around Christmas time. So they are three younger performers 2 males and 1 female, and let me just tell you, they are absolutely delightful. If they have a break in between sets, they will talk to you, and they are so pleasant and friendly, not to mention very, very talented. So the Soul of Violin, definitely check out that violin trio. Now, I will be the first one to tell you, I'm not really one to listen to classical music or anything like that when I'm at home. The Soul of Violin, they play a lot of cover songs of modern songs that we've all heard. So you might notice the tune and say, oh, I know that song. And you might even be able to name that song. So it's not just like classical music or anything like that, but it just sounds wonderful. So definitely check out the violin trio. Then they have the band. They have a couple that performs as well. So there's a lot of good live music that I suggest you take a gander and hear some different varieties of music that they have offering throughout the evenings. Okay, next we have trivia. Now, some people are just in love with trivia. That's not my particular thing, but I certainly can understand those of you that enjoy it. And they have a lot of offerings. Almost every day there are multiple trivia contests that you can take part in and win a ship on a stick or win a medal or something if you are the top answer person. And so there is a lot of entertainment. I think you'll like it. So check out the entertainment on the Carnival Magic. You'll be happy you did. All right, now let's get to an important one that let's face it, when almost anybody goes on a cruise, what's one of the main things that you're thinking about, right? It is the food, because the food is unlimited. You can eat as much as you want. So if you go to the main dining room in the Lido buffet, you can go back for seconds and thirds and fourths if you wanted, right? There are a lot of food offerings. So when I board the ship, for example, one of the things I think about is, what am I going to have for lunch? Where am I going to go? Well, there is a Cucina de Capitano, and they offer a free pasta bar for lunches. Okay, so you would have to go to deck 11, which is right above the Lido deck at the back of the ship, and you could get the free pasta bar there. Now, the deli is another one of my favorites. They have some fabulous deli sandwiches that are served with fries and even some cookies on the side if you like. And you could even get a chili cheese dog if you like. So that's another option in addition to the sandwiches. So that's a choice. Now, the Mongolian wok, when I want to be a little bit healthy, but I still want a really tasty lunch, they will stir fry your vegetables and stuff and mix that in with meats of your choice and the sauce, whether you want a milder sauce or a hotter sauce. They will blend all that together, stir fry it up for you, and you have a great lunch. Now, one of the things I often get are the tacos, and those can be found at the Blue Iguana Cantina, along with burritos, taco salads, breakfast burritos in the morning, and a few other things. So if you love tacos, you'll be pleasantly surprised with the quality of the tacos at the Blue Iguana Cantina. And then they have all the fixings to throw up on those tacos. And, the tacos aren't just like beef or chicken. They'll offer pork, they'll offer fish, they'll offer shrimp. So check daily to see what your favorite ingredients on the taco are. And chances are you'll find it at the Blue Iguana Cantina. Now, how about the iconic Guy's Burger? And yes, there is a Guy's Burger on the Carnival Magic. And you can ask for a double cheeseburger, or you can get it with the special sauce and top it with an onion ring. It's truly a fabulous burger, and those are free as well. One thing that is at a cost is the Seafood Shack, but there are some items on there that I think are very affordable that you might want to try that are very good. For example, a pound of peel and eat shrimp at the time of my cruise was roughly around $12 or $13. And, that pound of shrimp, once you eat a pound of shrimp and you're dipping it in butter, usually we buy a pound of shrimp and we'll get a couple cold beers and, a side order of fries and just go to town. And we'll eat that whole basket of shrimp and, along with some fries and a couple cold beers, and we're in a little bit of heaven, and that'll only cost, like I say, about $13. Another thing I really like is the bowl of clam chowder. There's a generous amount of clams usually in that clam chowder, and you can get a bowl of that clam chowder for only $5. All right, itineraries, your ports of call. Now, those are going to be different on just about every cruise. They're not going to, well, some of them might be identical to this one. The ports of call that we went to were Amber Cove, Grand Turk, and San Juan. Now, if any of those are your ports of call, I will say Grand Turk is a fabulous port. You don't have to buy an excursion there. The ship pulls up pretty much right on the beach. There's a pier. You walk down the pier, you walk through a little duty-free shop, take a left, and you are on the beach. And it is a crystal clear blue water beach. You get yourself a couple chairs and an umbrella. Those can range in price from anywhere from $20 to $40 for 2 chairs and an umbrella. I would suggest walking further down the beach. The further down the beach you go, usually the price goes down a little bit. We ended up getting 2 chairs and an umbrella for only $20. And then we got a bucket of beer, 5 beers for another $20. So for the same $40, it's basically like we got a free bucket of beer. So that worked out great for us. But if you want to be closer to the ship and don't mind paying that extra $20, by all means, grab a couple chairs there. But Amber Cove, there's a free pool area there. So if you're with a large family and you don't want to break the bank, there is a free pool, free loungers, free umbrellas, and that's a great opportunity there to save some money. Although the bar and the restaurant there do charge. That is not included. So if you plan on eating or drinking there, make sure you bring some extra cash. Finally, San Juan. San Juan is nice. As soon as you get off the ship, you were right in the middle of old San Juan. And I mean, you can walk the downtown and it's just a beautiful, charming little area. A lot of great restaurants and history in old San Juan. And there are some nice excursions too. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this subject because, again, your ports of call are probably different. Many of them, maybe there's a couple there that are similar. But anyway, enjoy your ports of call. Make sure you do your research before you get on the ship so you know exactly what you're going to do, because you don't want to show up and have no clue and waste half the day thinking about doing something and then regret it later. So even if you do nothing, even if you're going to stay on the ship, make sure you do your research to make sure you're not missing out on something. One last thing I'll say about Amber Cove. If you are going to Amber Cove and you're the adventurous type, the best excursion, I think, hands down over there, is the Dama Agua waterfalls. It's like the 17 or 27 waterfalls or something like that. And you don't go down or jump off 17 or 27 waterfalls on the excursion, but you do jump off several waterfalls. Although, if you book through Carnival, they're not allowing you to jump off the waterfalls. They are allowing you to slide off the side of the waterfalls, which isn't quite as adventurous or adrenaline, as much of an adrenaline rush. So if you do want to book that waterfall excursion, you can book through an outside vendor, and you can even do that right off the ship. That's another little tip for you, for those of you going to Amber Cove. If you want to do some adventurous something, I've done that particular excursion with my wife Anita, and we had a fabulous time. And everybody that's gone on it has had a fabulous time for the most part. I haven't heard any bad reviews yet, so that would be something I highly recommend. Sea Day Brunch, that is a free option for you, and obviously Sea Day Brunch is available on Sea Days only. So when you go into port, you cannot go to Sea Day Brunch and get that special menu, but they have like a 7-layer chocolate cake, which is very good. And oftentimes the banana cream pie is the one I go for, and it's very good as well. So those are a couple items you might look into as far as desserts go. The main dining room dining options, the food, well, let's start with the big one first. Formal night on the second to last sea night, or the second formal night on 6, 7, or 8 day cruises. That's when they'll offer the free lobster and prime rib. And you can get 2 entrees for free. So if you want to do a little surf and turf, you can say, hey, I'd like a medium prime rare, and I would like a prime rib medium rare, and I would like a lobster tail. And they'll bring that to you, and with as many sides and desserts as you would like. So that's what I did. And I'll tell you, I was very, very pleased with my prime rib. It came out great. It was a perfect pink, medium rare, just how I like it, with a baked potato on the side. And then I had my lobster tail. I was in a little bit of heaven, right? And then not only that, but we were sitting close to the center and, the entertainment where they sing and they have their own singers right there in the middle of the audience. Wouldn't you know, but he started singing right next to our table. So that was a lot of fun too. And that's one of the things that the Carnival is known for, is having their waiters and waitresses, dance alongside the tables and just make everything a lot of fun. So the main dining room, for the most part, I think you're going to be relatively happy. Now, is it the best food you're ever going to eat? I will say this: there are some entrees that are very, very good, and there's some entrees that are like, it's all right, So depending on which entree and which night you get it, I feel you'll probably hit on a few, and there's probably going to be a couple where you're like, it was okay. Nothing, it wasn't terrible or anything like that. But, don't be prepared to get your socks knocked off every night. But for the most part, I think you'll be pretty happy with the main dining room. Now, specialty dining. And specialty dining, obviously, is at a cost. Some of the best specialty dinings, I've mentioned the Seafood Shack already. But there's bonsai sushi. Let's say, you wake up late or something after taking a nap and you missed your assigned dining time, and you say, well, you know what? I missed my dining time. Let's go get some sushi. You can get a sushi roll for about $7, okay? And it's pretty filling and it's pretty tasty. They do a pretty good job with their sushi. They offer soups as well. And you can get a sushi boat that will serve 2 people easily for $24. So the sushi is not overpriced. And so for those sushi lovers out there, I think you'll be pretty happy with the prices and the quality of the sushi as well. Now, my favorite is the steakhouse. Now, the cost there is $48 a person. But let me tell you something. That may sound like a little bit of money, and it is. For a couple, that's $100, and that's even before you tip anything, right? But you get 2 nice appetizers. You get your main entree, of course, with a couple sides, so like a baked potato and, say, macaroni and cheese, or a baked potato and green beans, or mashed potato and macaroni and cheese, any combination, or a salad, something like that. And then you get a nice dessert. I'm fond of the cheesecake, as a lot of people are. It's a wonderful evening. The service, you have multiple wait staff waiting on you, checking on you, making sure everything okay. The food is usually out of this world. There is another special dining option that is Cucina de Capitano. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money and you're a big Italian food fan, that might be the spot for you. It's only $18 per person. And that's where you're going to get your lasagnas, your pastas. You can get some seafood pastas. You can even get a pork chop. They have a tomahawk pork chop that I've had in the past that I've been very happy with. And the bread, oh my God. They come out with this little circular plate of bread, and it has all these little finely grated cheeses on top of it that are partially melted, along with the butter and everything. And the bread is so soft. It is otherworldly. I would say it's almost worth going there just for that bread, I promise you. So there's another option for you as far as the specialty dining. So overall, the food, I'm going to say, is very good. And so I think you're going to be happy with the food on the Carnival Magic. Again, there are going to be some hit and misses, but the main dining room, for the most part, most of the time, we were pretty happy with the entrees. I usually ordered 2, and one of them was usually really good, and the other one oftentimes was like, and I didn't eat the whole thing, or maybe I just focused on that one that I really liked. So maybe that'll be you, but hopefully you like it even more than I did. All right, let's go to the next part. All right, let's move on to the final section, and that is going to be the Carnival Magic itself. Now, the Carnival Magic is a dream class ship, And it is an older ship, especially when you compare all the ships that have come out after the Carnival Magic, but it's still a really, really good ship. I mean, they have a ropes course. They have, miniature golf. They have a lot of those fun, free activities. They have a nice sized basketball court. They have a running track. They have the fitness center like you might like if you want to get a little exercise in. They have the spa. They have all the things that you would hope a ship would have for the most part. Now, obviously, they don't have the big bells and whistles like the new XL class with the roller coaster on top and things like that. But they do have most of the traditional things you would expect Carnival ship might have. Now, I will say this, on our particular cruise, and it's the first time I've noticed this, and maybe because of inclement weather or something like that, they just didn't have time to deal with it. But my wife pointed out to me one time when we were in port, she's like, wow, look at the side of the ship. And not just one little section or at the bottom or, at the front or the back or whatever, but pretty much the entire side of the ship had showed, some rusting. Now, oftentimes, and I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of you veteran cruisers, you'll be in port and you'll see some of these staff and crew, painting constantly, the white paint, painting the whole of the ship and things like that, to cover up these rust spots or whatever. Now, I don't know how fast those rust spots get on the side of the ship, but it did look just a little tacky. It's not a big deal. I mean, when you're in the ship itself, you're certainly not going to notice it. But, when you're walking right up alongside of it, it didn't have that nice shiny gleam that you might hope a ship would have. And to be honest, that's the first time that I've really seen Carnival kind of falter in that area. And like I said, it could have been for a variety of reasons. Maybe they just had some bad weather. It was raining, for a couple of the cruises before, so they didn't have the opportunity to get out there and paint. I don't know. But hopefully that won't be the case when you go on. Now, the decor itself on the inside of the Carnival Magic, one thing you can look forward to is the glass elevators, the iconic glass elevators that are on almost all of the older ships. A lot of the newer ships, almost all the newer ships for that matter, don't have those glass elevators. And a lot of people really like that glass elevator. So you can enjoy that while you're on the Carnival Magic. Now, the colors are a little dated, a lot of teals, green, pink. So, a lot of people might not love that, but that might be quirky enough now and that you might actually like it. Who knows? It's certainly not going to ruin your cruise by any means. And like I say, you might even enjoy the difference in design and kind of take a step back in cruising or whatever. But it's definitely not that contemporary color scheme that we're getting used to on a lot of the newer ships. All in all, I got to give the Carnival Magic a thumbs up. Like I said, for the most part, the entertainment I really enjoyed. Now, the playlist productions, America Rocks, I was very happy with. They had Deal or No Deal, I forgot to mention, was another option. Bingo, for you bingo fans out there, is offered throughout the cruise. So if you're a big bingo person, you will get your bingo fix. Of course, the casino is always up and running when you're not in port. So if you're you casino players out there, you can have a good time in the casino if that's your thing. So have a great cruise. I certainly think you'll be able to go, if you go on the Carnival Magic with an open mind, I think you're going to walk off of it very happy and knowing that you had a great cruise and maximize your cruise to the fullest. That's all I have for you, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous cruise on the Carnival Magic. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button on your way out, and thanks for watching. Take care.
Do such an awesome job.
Oh, sure.
And secondly, and this one is huge, like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you know when this man is posting more videos.
I appreciate that you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
I just can't get away from a good time.